I'm Mark Kelly, Mr. Saltwater Tank, coming to you on behalf of saltwaterrecording.com with a special edition Mr. Saltwater Tank React show. Snowmageddon 2021 is upon us. For those of us in the southeast of the United States, Texas, Mississippi, Georgia, here in Tennessee, we're getting pummeled by a winter storm. That means inches of snow and ice, and for some of us, rolling power outages. Now, we got some tips to help you if you are dealing with an extended power outage, and if you're not in this storm, consider yourself lucky, and these tips are going to be very useful for what to do to prepare. We hope power outages, losing your tank never happens to you, and being prepared never hurts. Let me say this first. Best case scenario would be to have a whole house generator. We understand not everyone has that option, which we get. At the very least, grab yourself some kind of generator. There's plenty of small ones that you can move around by hand or move on wheels. You may never need it, but if you do need it, you're going to be very happy that you have it, and as much as you had invested in your tank, small purchase of a generator is going to be totally worth it and worth your investment. Now with that, here are some tips on what to do if you're dealing with an extended power outage and a tank emergency. During a power outage, you're looking to get three things going: flow, gas exchange, and heat. You'll be surprised how long a tank will last if you've got at least some flow happening to exchange oxygen into your tank. Yes, heat is important, but a lot of times you can't put enough heat into your tank to maintain the temperature. So at the very least, attack flow and gas exchange first. Then worry about your heating issues. Battery backups, usually used for computers. There's no reason they can't provide power for your saltwater tank. They can power an air bubbler, a circulation pump, something to get some gas exchange and oxygen into your tank. Now you can plug your heater into it as well. Just know that a heater is going to draw a fair amount of power and wear these things down quickly. There's also solar-powered battery backups, which will recharge themselves with the energy from the sun. This is great during an extended power outage because as long as the sun's down at some level, you can make yourself power. Power inverters in your car. Now some cars have 110 volt plugs built in. You can also grab a power inverter that plugs into your car's cigarette lighter. Battery powered air bubblers. These run off batteries that you likely already have in your house, and they're going to buy you time. Remember that we want gas exchange and flow, and the air bubbler hooked up to an air stone is going to put oxygen into your tank and provide some amount of flow. Understand there's not much flow coming from the bubbles rising to the top of the water in your tank, but it's better than nothing. Remember, we're dealing with an emergency situation. Hop on the forum or the Facebook page of your local fish club and ask for help. During power outages, I'm always surprised on how one street won't have power and the next street over will have power. So you may be out of power, but someone nearby in your local fish club might have power or can at least come by and bring you supplies. Again, don't be afraid to ask for help. It's a do or die time and you're likely not alone. Grab some heat packs and tape them to your tank. Now if you have a large saltwater tank, you're likely not going to get much out of this, but if you have a nano tank like the 10-gallon water box here, you may be able to raise your tank's temperature a degree or two, or at least maintain your tank's temperature. A word of caution about these things: they require oxygen to run, so don't completely cover them when you tape over them. Follow the directions, they'll tell you where you can and cannot tape. That way these things continue to generate heat. Thermal blankets wrapped around the tank. These are sometimes found in car emergency kits, and at the very least you can grab any old blanket around your house. You're going to want to cover the top, but keep in mind you do want some gas exchange. You don't want to keep the tank warm and then starve the tank of oxygen. Boiling water, placing it in a jug and floating it in your tank. Now this works if you have a gas range, and you can also do it on your grill outside. During a power outage, especially during an extended power outage, back off on feeding your fish. For the first 24 hours of your power outage, don't feed your fish at all. They'll be totally fine. The more food that you put in the tank, the more waste that they're going to produce. That can cause nutrient issues as well as cause issues with ammonia if you don't have any circulation. Now, if your power is still out after 24 hours, when you do feed, feed lightly. Something is better than nothing, but you don't want to go overboard. I hope you and your tank never have to deal with a tank emergency. And if you're in the saltwater tank hobby long enough, you're going to deal with a tank emergency. And the worst thing about a tank emergency is to be caught unprepared. We've covered several tips in this show, and we've got even more tips at saltwaterrecording.com/tank-emergency. My tank emergency checklist is there, so that if you're not going through a tank emergency, you can be prepared. And if you are dealing with a tank emergency, it's going to give you ideas to help you make it through. If you're dealing with a tank emergency, you're dealing with Snowmageddon 2021, take a deep breath, think for a minute, and help your tank get through it in the best way possible. For everyone else, you've got the resources, go get prepared so that you're ready in case the big emergency ever comes. I'm Mark Callan, Mr. Saltwater Tank, coming to you on behalf of saltwateraquarium.com. I'll catch you in the next episode.